Welcome back here, Tim Towe with Jake West. We're joined by two very good special guests here, Coach Ryan Chastain and Coach Ray Gutierrez. Obviously, a big girls matchup in our area on Saturday at 6 o'clock when the Lady Rebels and the Lady Bulldogs play. Two teams are no stranger to success, but two good coaches in our area, two of the best, and it's going to be fun to sit down and talk with these guys. And just get a little inside information from them and, just talk girls basketball. So, the Lady Rebels are off to a 4-0 start, hot start. Of course, Coach Gutierrez and Murphy just getting their season going. Haven't played as many games, but on Saturday night, you can throw the records out. You can throw everything out. It's going to be a good basketball game. But I guess we'll start with Coach Chastain. Coach, how's practice going this week? How's the ladies' mindset, and are you ready for Saturday?
Well, we don't know yet. We don't play this week until we play on Saturday. It was just kind of the way the schedule fell. And the first 2 days, we've really just kind of focused on ourselves. I've been pretty tough on them the first 2 days. I know Coach knows how it is when you got a week where you don't play a game. You can't let your kids not get sharp because they think they're not playing on Tuesday or Friday, not playing till Saturday. So we've been pretty tough on them the first few days. I like our group. I think we're in a good place, and we've got some good wins. The last two being over Pickens and North Oconee, who are two good programs. So I think we feel pretty good, but it's always hard to go to Murphy and play in their gym. So
yeah, and of course, Coach Gutierrez, you guys are hosting the game. Play Copper Basin Friday, but how's the week of practice going, and how's the team's mindset heading into this week?
We played last week, had a big game with AC Reynolds, which is a big school in Asheville. And we didn't play too well. Still trying to fit in some kids with very few, if not any, varsity level experience, depending on freshmen and sophomores. And so, we try not to throw too much at them, trying to get our basketball legs underneath us. I think a lot of our kids still are in volleyball shape, which I don't know if there's any shape at all, but trying to get good conditioning in, and we've trying to stay healthy is the biggest thing. Our numbers are down this year, and so we can't bust them as much as I'd like to early on, but we're having pretty good sessions.
Coach Gutierrez, you mentioned your numbers are down. You graduated a lot. You graduated Sarah Polium and a lot of guys that contributed in the stat book, but also contributed to just leadership on the hardwood. Who on your team are you going to look for to step up and kind of fill that role?
So we have two seniors that played for us. This will be their fourth year on varsity, and Torrin Rogers and Amber Martin. And so, those are the only two kids that really have played important games, important minutes on a varsity level. And so, we're going to have to depend on them outside just from scoring and rebounding, assists, just all the basketball stuff. We definitely have to rely on them on leadership and letting kids know, what's acceptable in the program, what's not acceptable. And that's something that I've taken for granted the last couple of years, because the kids we depended on has always been in our program. And so with new kids, there's some little things that some are basketball, some are not basketball, that we're having to learn as we go, and I'm having to reteach it. But, I think we have two really good seniors and to help us out in doing that.
Yeah. Coach, I think kind of the same question to you. Fannin, we lost a lot of senior leaderships, but we've had a lot of girls step up early on. Of course, our seniors and Becca Ledford and Jenna Young and Reagan York. But, talk about some of the girls that have stepped up for us early on in the season so far. They've been a surprise.
Yeah, well, I think we talked a while back in the preseason. Becca and Reagan and Courtney Davis were the three kids that really got a lot of experience last year in the playoff run. And Jenna's a senior. She played well for us in the summer. But our junior class is a class that I feel really good about. Reagan O'Neill, Ellie Cook, Riley Reeves, and Ava Queen, all four who are going to play really large roles on our team this year. And those are talented kids that we're just waiting their turn. So I think with that group, we're a longer, more athletic, a little faster, lean type team, whereas last year we had a little more size. But those kids are good players. And, It takes me back to 2 years ago when Morgan Holt graduated. She went to UNG, and everybody was asking the question, well, how do you replace a kid like that? And the bottom line is like, she'd score 20 points a game. Well, those points are going to somebody. It may not be 20 from one kid. It may be spread out over 2 or 3. And I feel like the whole of our parts this year, I think this is probably our best defensive group we've ever had because of our speed and athleticism. Now, there'll be some scoring and shooting that'll have to be replaced, and we feel like those kids can do that. But it's the thing about how important it is to play JV basketball games, have kids running your system in middle school. I felt like when we came into summer and we plugged the kids in that didn't have a lot of experience as far as from an execution standpoint and what we were asking them to do, there was nothing new. Now, it's just like Coach Gutierrez said, when you've never played varsity basketball before, there's an adjustment period. Like there's that part at the beginning of the year where kids are wide-eyed, and we're hoping we're working through some of that. And we just expect a lot out of our kids that are stepping in, and we're proud of what they've done so far.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun to see from a Lady Rebel fan, obviously a fan in general, with a great start. I want to ask both of you guys this. I'm glad we're talking to both of you guys because I think a lot of you guys. I think you guys are 2 of the best coaches in North Georgia and the Western North Carolina area. But from an outside perspective, talk about what it means like to build a successful program. And both of you guys have done that right now. Ray, you want to go first?
We gotta. I've been 2 places, and we've kind of built two pretty good programs. And I think the biggest thing. Kids got to sell out. They got to be willing to come in and go to work and trust the process. We got here. Murphy basketball, was bad for a couple years, and I don't know if it's a belief in that we brought with us, having a successful coach, or just that pride in the community. But we came in and inherited good kids, and they believed right off the bat. And when they believe, they're going to work a little bit harder, and had some really good parents. I think that's important, and a lot of community support. I would argue to say that on that our women's basketball attendance is probably more than anybody in Western North Carolina, and there'll be a lot of people here Saturday to watch us, and I'm really proud of that community support. And so I think those 3 things. At the end of the day, you got to have kids willing to work. But at the same time, there has to be some outside help from parents, community support, administration, all those things.
Coach Chastain, same question to you.
Yeah, this is my 4th year here, and it's funny that we're sitting here talking about this question, and Coach Gutierrez is here because one of the first things I wanted to do is schedule them. Like we talked right when I got here, and I said, hey, man, no matter what, let's try to play every year. And, of course, he was all about it. And when you get around coaches who are good coaches and they want to challenge themselves, they want to play good teams, and we had a good year. And sometimes when people have good years, and of course they got back-to-back state championships, and we don't want to run from that. We want to challenge our kids to play against the best women's teams in the area. And that's why I think that games like this are important for us. We want to play in those big environments. We want to play in hostile environments like Murphy because that prepares you for the playoffs. But I think, when I think about our program here, and I think about what, for people that don't know, me and Coach Gutierrez, we talk a lot. And I think there's a good, healthy respect between the 2 of us. I ask him a lot of questions. He's a more tenured guy than me. He's been in it longer. But when I think about it, I think about you just got to set standards and believe that your kids can rise to those standards, because I think kids are resilient and you have to push them. And it's hard in the beginning. Like it was hard the first couple of years, but now we have standards in place and kids are meeting those standards. And I think that's you just got to go to work every day. And built here, the biggest thing for me was I wanted to instill confidence in our program. I mean, we have a history of winning women's basketball games.
Excuse the interruption. The following students need to report to the office.
This happened the last time we were on.
Sarah Olsenbach, Kennedy Davis, Wyatt Crawford, Tyson Anderson, Brandon Rhodes, and Michael Summers. Once again, Sarah Olsenbach, Kennedy Davis, Wyatt Crawford, Tyson Anderson, Brandon Rhodes, and Michael Summers to the office, please.
Hey,
Sorry about
that. At least Ryan Chastain don't have to report to the office. We're good.
Yeah. But I think kids now, and I don't know how Ray feels about this, but like instilling confidence in young people is a big deal now in coaching, and we're trying to do that. And it's not instilling confidence by patting them on the back, but holding them accountable. And when they rise to those standards, all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, I'm capable of doing this, and trying to build that confidence. So I guess that's kind of the best way to put it.
I think adding to that, Coach, is just like I don't think people realize how much time that that our kids spend in the gym. I would say that last summer we played 30 plus games in June, which I know Fannin did the same, and that's a lot of time. They could be doing a lot of things in summertime, and then this fall we worked hard this fall, and like you were saying, just allowing them to work, giving them confidence, showing them the goal in mind, and then having proof, like their great year last year, our great year last year, having proof that we can reach those goals, makes them work a little bit harder.
One last thing before you guys go, Ray, you mentioned the faculty and the kids, and just the team support from the community, but and you mentioned how long the kids have spent in the gym. You've got both of y'all's staff have some pretty important assistant coaches that also spend a lot of time in the gym. And I know just as much of building a winning program starts with the kids, you also have to have the right guys around those kids.
Yes,
Me first?
absolutely.
Okay. You're good, Coach.
So the last 10 years of Coach, my wife's helped me out, and she, I don't want to say she's a cobbler, but I can hammer them a little bit, and she's definitely somebody that can come over there and pick them up, lift them up, make them feel better about themselves. So I have that. We have that dynamic, and then Cody Webb, he's been with me ever since I've been at Murphy. He's great. I can send him a message at any point, and we can talk. And he loves basketball, and most of all, he loves kids. And so having those two people around, at a varsity practice, it's a great staff. And of course, we have our JV coaches here all the time, Jordan Lummy-Good and my uncle, Coach Holloway. And so I've learned you have to surround yourself, one, with people who are loyal to you, and then two, people who generally loves kids and basketball. I would argue maybe third, and it just so happens all those people around me are good at all three.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's funny, Megan Queen, she's now Megan Orton. She's my head assistant, and she used to work for Ray way back in the day at Hiawassee Dam. So it's kind of funny how that all comes around. And she lives in Murphy now. So she said she wasn't riding the bus Saturday, that she was just driving over to the game. So there are a lot of ties back and forth in our communities, but it goes back to kind of what Coach said too. We played 30-something games in the summer, so you got to have assistants that are willing to give up not only parts of June and July, but basketball goes through Thanksgiving, it goes through Christmas, it goes through New Year's, and if you don't have people around you who are committed, it's hard. And I'm just lucky with Coach Orton and Coach Hallmark, who's been a head coach. He's a retired guy that has a lot of knowledge, and now Lacey Walden, who's come back, former player, that's helping us. We have people that, like Coach said, they love kids, they love basketball, and they're committed to what we're trying to do here. And the other thing too, and I know Coach Gutierrez does this too, we were talking about program building, is, we have to model hard work for the kids before they'll do it themselves. And that's one thing I've always respected about Ray at Murphy, is how hard they work and how he leads the charge on that. Because I always said, your kids aren't going to do something that you're not going to do. Like and we talk about assistants, and if I told my assistants to show up and run practice, they'd do it. But we all know how that goes when the head coach isn't there. We have to model that hard work, and I'm just happy I got people on our staff here that are committed to being a big part of what we're trying to build here.
Well, guys, y'all's work speaks for itself. Great players, great coaches, and I don't know about Jake, but I'm excited to see the game Saturday. And I know these guys are scrimmage, but I also know Coach Chastain and Coach Gutierrez. I'm sure they didn't show everything in the scrimmage, and these are two different teams compared to even just 2 weeks ago. So it's going to be a fun atmosphere. Guys, y'all got anything else y'all want to add before we end this segment?
No, like I said, I'm proud to be part of Western North Carolina, and North Georgia area. There's some really we're very underrated in terms of basketball. We got some good basketball. Now, we may not turn out kids that you see on TV, but at the end of the day, we got some very fundamentally sound kids that play hard. And as a basketball purist, Saturday night's going to be fun. We got some really good, talented kids that if you love basketball, you just love the purity in it, you're going to come watch.
Yeah, same here. Like, these are the games that this is why we play, right? To play the good teams. I mean, everybody seems to think that the blowouts are fun, but the reason we do this is to challenge ourselves. So we're excited. We want to, and don't, Coach, I haven't beat Murphy in the regular season since I got this job. And don't think it don't weigh on me.
I think the last time the Lady Rebels won was 2015 on December the 29th. They won 51-50. So it's been a little bit since the Rebels have beat Murphy. So, Jake,
he ain't worried about that. He's set back and confident. He ain't worried.
I got issues. It'll be fun.
It's going to be a fun game Saturday night, 6 o'clock. The guys' game is going to be a good game too, guys. We got two good basketball teams there in the guys' game. Not to leave out the guys. The boys' game is going to be fun to watch. So I don't. There's not going to be many empty seats in Murphy Saturday night. So
yeah, appreciate you guys coming on. It's like not much that can be said. I mean, just show up and watch the game. I know the SEC championship game is going to be going on, but there'll be girls and guys on the floor on Saturday night that are going to be trying harder than those guys on the football field Saturday also. So appreciate you, Ray. Appreciate you, Ryan, for coming on. We're really looking forward to Saturday.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys.